The strangers on Spaceship Earth. How well do you really know the place you call home? Think about your morning routine today. You woke up, your feet hit the floor, you made coffee, you walked out the door, and you went about your day. We treat the ground beneath our feet as a permanent, unchanging, almost boring backdrop to our human drama. When we think of mystery or adventure, we instinctively look up. We look at the stars, we watch science fiction movies, and we wonder what kind of alien, bizarre, hostile worlds might be out there waiting for us in the vast cosmic ocean. But here is the ultimate cosmic joke. We are already living on one. Right now, at this exact second, you are not sitting still. You are sitting on a massive, jagged, spinning rock that is hurtling through a freezing radiation-filled vacuum at a blistering 67,000 miles per hour. And the deeper you look into how this planet actually functions, the more you realize that Earth isn't just a rock. It's a beautifully strange, dynamic, and downright weird spaceship. Today, I want to take you on a journey. We are going to travel beneath the surface, fly to the absolute edges of our atmosphere, and look back through billions of years of history to look at 10 mind-bending realities that prove Earth is far stranger than fiction. 1. Earth is not a perfect sphere. Let's start with something you think you know perfectly: the shape of the world. We've all seen the globes in classrooms, perfect, smooth, beautiful blue marbles. We're taught from childhood that the Earth is a sphere. Except the globes lie to you. Earth is not a perfect sphere. Because our planet spins on its axis at a dizzying 1,000 miles per hour, physics takes over. Imagine a chef spinning a ball of pizza dough in the air. It flattens and bulges. The exact same thing happens to Earth. Centrifugal force pushes the equator outward slightly. Scientists call this shape an oblate spheroid. It bulges at the center and is slightly squashed at the poles. It's got a bit of a cosmic belly. Because of this bulge, when you stand at the equator, you are physically further away from the Earth's center of gravity than someone standing at the freezing cold North Pole, and less gravity means less weight. The result? You actually weigh about 0.5% less at the equator than you do at the poles. So if you are looking to lose a few pounds instantly, don't waste your money on a fad diet. Just book a one-way flight to Ecuador. 2. The planet is covered in cosmic dust. But while you might weigh a little less at the equator, the universe is doing its absolute best to heavy you up. Because the planet is constantly covered in cosmic dust. Every single day, without a single one of us ever noticing, Earth is under a massive, silent bombardment. Debris from passing comets, shedding tails from dying asteroids, and ancient meteoroids slip through our upper atmosphere. Roughly 100 tons of extraterrestrial dust and tiny space particles settle onto the surface of our planet every single day. To put that in perspective, that's the physical weight of about 15 adult elephants falling from space every 24 hours. It blankets our cars, our crops, our houses, and our oceans, which means quite literally that as you take a deep breath right now, you are likely breathing in tiny specks of ancient space rocks that traveled billions of light years across the universe just to meet your lungs. We are quite literally breathing the cosmos. 3. There are parts of Canada that have less gravity. Now let's talk about gravity again because we assume it's a universal constant. We think gravity is a seamless, invisible blanket that pulls down on everything equally. But it doesn't. There are parts of Canada that actually have less gravity than the rest of the world. If you travel to the Hudson Bay region in northern Canada, you will find a localized glitch in physics. The gravity there is measurably lower than the global average. And no, it's not because of the equator bulge this time. It's a ghost from the last ice age. Thousands of years ago, a massive ice sheet over 2 miles thick sat on top of North America. It was so unfathomably heavy that it literally dented the Earth's crust, pushing the molten mantle aside like memory foam. Even though that ice melted thousands of years ago, the solid rock beneath hasn't fully bounced back yet. It's still depressed. Because the land is dented inward, there is less physical mass in that specific region to pull you down. Gravity has a literal dent in Canada, proving the Earth remembers its own violent past. 4. Earth's core is as hot as the surface of the sun. But if you look directly beneath that dent, past the crust, Miles into the pitch black, you encounter a terrifying furnace. Earth's core is as hot as the surface of the sun. At the absolute dead center of our planet, beneath the soil and the churning mantle, sits a solid iron ball the size of Pluto, surrounded by an ocean of liquid metal. The temperatures down there reach up to 5,400 degrees Celsius, or nearly 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Think about that for a second. We think of the sun as this unimaginable, distant, terrifying nuclear monster, which it is. But the exact same blistering, agonizing heat of the solar surface is raging right now directly beneath your feet. It is separated from us by just a relatively thin crust of rock. It's the engine that keeps our magnetic field alive, protecting us from solar winds. We are quite literally living on a thin, cooling crust over a trapped sea of sunfire. 5. The atmosphere actually has a boundary line. If we look upward instead of down, we see the sky. But where does the sky end and the universe begin? It turns out the atmosphere actually has a hard legal boundary line. Space doesn't just fade away into a fuzzy gradient. Scientists and international policymakers have marked an official boundary line between Earth's atmosphere and outer space called the Kármán line. It sits exactly 100 kilometers, or 62 miles, above sea level. To put that into context, if you could turn your car vertically and drive straight up into the air at highway speeds, you would cross the threshold into outer space in just about an hour. It is a strict legal boundary. The moment any human being crosses this line, whether they are a trained military pilot, a billionaire on a joyride, or a civilian tourist, they are legally, officially designated as an astronaut. Space is closer than most of our daily commutes. 6. Earth is the only planet not named after a mythological god. Yet, for all this cosmic grandeur, our planet keeps its ego entirely in check. Have you ever noticed that Earth is the only planet in our solar system not named after a mythological god or goddess? Think about our neighbors. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. They all boast the names of grand Roman and Greek deities of war, love, beauty, and the underworld. But our home? Earth doesn't come from a pantheon of gods. It comes from Old English and Germanic words, Eort, he and Eartha. It doesn't mean king of the cosmos. It literally just translates to the ground. In the grand cosmic neighborhood, everyone else is named after royalty, and we live on planet dirt. 7. The longest mountain range is almost entire underwater, but what a beautiful, majestic piece of dirt it is. If you wanted to see its most magnificent geographic feature, the longest mountain range in the world, you couldn't climb it. You couldn't even hike it. The longest mountain range is almost entirely underwater. Forget the Rockies, forget the Alps, forget the Himalayas. The mid-ocean ridge is a continuous, unbroken chain of underwater volcanoes that wraps around the globe like the stitched seams on a baseball. It stretches for over 65,000 kilometers, or 40,300 miles. That is over 10 times longer than the Andes. It is a place of tearing tectonic plates, vents spewing black acid, and entirely alien ecosystems that have never seen a single ray of sunlight. 8. Earth used to have a twin planet named Theia. How did this strange world come to be? It didn't just appear gently, it required a cosmic murder mystery. Earth used to have a twin planet named Theia. Around 4.5 billion years ago, we weren't alone in our orbit. A planet the size of Mars, which scientists have named Theia, shared our exact neighborhood. But in a cosmic game of musical chairs, the two orbits crossed. The two planets collided in a cataclysmic event of unimaginable violence. The impact was so severe it completely melted the Earth into a bubbling ball of magma and utterly vaporized Theia into dust. A massive cloud of that debris was blasted into orbit, and over millions of years that debris clumped together under the gravity of the wounded Earth. The ghost of Theia, mixed with pieces of early Earth, became our moon. Every single time you look up at the night sky and see the moonlight, you are looking at the wreckage of our lost twin planet. 9. Libya holds the record for the hottest spot on Earth. Because of our atmosphere, we survived that violent birth, but we still experience the intense extremes of that cosmic energy on the surface. For decades, scientists debated where the absolute limit of that heat manifested. Libya holds the record for the hottest spot on Earth. While California's Death Valley often steals the Hollywood headlines, the hottest air temperature ever naturally recorded on Earth occurred in El Azizia, Libya. On September 13, 1922, a weather station thermometer hit a staggering, blistering 58 degrees Celsius. That's 136.4 degrees Fahrenheit in the shade. At that temperature, life doesn't just sweat. The environment becomes an actively hostile crucible where human technology and biology are pushed to their absolute breaking points. 10. We have only explored about 5% of the oceans. Yet, despite knowing our violent origins, calculating the temperature of the core, and measuring the boundary of space, here is the ultimate irony of human civilization. We have only explored about 5% of our own oceans. Think about the absurdity of this. We have highly detailed, high-resolution satellite maps of the surfaces of Mars. We have mapped the craters of the Moon down to the centimeter, but 70% of our own home planet is covered by deep blue water, and we have explored, mapped, and cataloged less than 5% of it. The deep ocean is completely dark, under crushing atmospheric pressures, and utterly hostile to human technology. We literally know more about outer space than we do about our own backyards. There are millions of undiscovered species, massive underwater canyons deeper than the Grand Canyon, and ecological secrets waiting in the pitch black just a few miles beneath the waves. Conclusion: we spend so much time as a species looking outward. We build multi-billion-dollar telescopes to peer at distant galaxies. We look for something fascinating. We look for a miracle. But when you take a step back and look at the evidence, you realize something profound. When you realize that you are standing on an asymmetrical rock, constantly dusted with alien particles from deep space, dented by ancient ice, heated by the core of a sun, born from a planetary collision, and holding a massive, unexplored alien ocean right under its surface, you realize the miracle isn't light years away. It is right here. We don't need to build a starship to find an alien planet. We are already living on one. We